Hello. Welcome to Voices of Hope channel. Today on this channel, we are talking about the effects of mental health on our personal hygiene. Do you believe there is actually um, that your mental health challenges can affect your personal hygiene? The answer is yes. Whether it's taking shower regularly, whether it's washing dishes in a timely manner, whatever the case may be, when one is struggling mentally, it does have impact on their mental health. Society has demoralized the idea of hygiene, that when people are actually struggling with their personal hygiene, when they are struggling due to their mental health conditions, we do label them as being lazy, as being disgusting, as being unkept and not able to take care of themselves, when in actual sense, they are actually suffering with their mental health. And so I'm here for us to talk, um, to give us the notion that when a person is struggling mentally, it can have an effect on their mental health. Many struggle to maintain their hygiene during depression. Depression is often characterized by diminished interest in activities, interest in you no longer, you have loss of motivation, you are tired. And so when you have no energy to take care of your hygiene, you are not able to do anything. When you don't have the energy to complete any task, usually it extends to not having energy to do your daily hygiene. So depression can come in a form of physical pain, aches. And so when the person is struggling physically and depression is so bad, they are not able to have the ability to sometimes get out of their bed, to even to brush their teeth. Yet, you and I, or the people around this person, just look at the person and say that the person is lazy. How do you know the person around you who is unkept, who is not able to maintain their personal hygiene, is actually struggling with depression? Usually, the person isolates themselves. They stay by themselves. They are actually also going through some shame, the ability of not taking care of themselves. Usually when these individuals experience pain and the sensory issues that comes with their depression, they are not able to do the things they love to do anymore. They cannot attend to simple tasks like taking a shower. And so the experiences of hygiene themselves becomes discomfort. It outweighs them. It's like a weight on them, you know. But unfortunately, the way in our society, the stigma that is attached to people who aren't taking care of their physical hygiene immediately proves that this person is lazy, or they are just, disgusting. So we have to be very careful. I want us to be mindful of ourselves, be mindful with the people we are surrounded with. That when you are around someone who used to take care of themselves, but then all of a sudden they are no longer able to brush their teeth, to get out of bed, it should give you, you should begin to recognize that something is wrong somewhere, and that is not just laziness. Even since the pandemic started, many individuals' daily routine have been disrupted greatly. There is a lot, there's no more structure. Many people were working from home. Children were going to school via virtual classroom. And so there is less structure in our daily lives. And that puts a lot of stress and isolation on us. People were going through isolation, grief, because you lose someone and you're not even, able to even pay your last respect because of the pandemic. And so all of these factors can actually impact the existing mental health condition that people were having. Because you are spending time alone at home, you are isolated, you no longer go out. And when that happens, you become depressed, and in turn, you begin to isolate yourself and you're not able to take care of yourself anymore. And this becomes like a cycle. It's like a cycle. People who struggle with depression, the tendency for them to isolate is very great. But when you are around these people, you have to help them. The least you can do is to say something. Do not think that you are going to hurt them. Don't say because you are going to hurt their feelings. Say something. Let them know that I have realized that you have not been taking a bath. You are not looking well. Say it in a way that you're not actually putting them down, but you are actually, making them aware of themselves because they are no longer aware. When you become so isolated and no longer able to take care of your hygiene, it becomes cyclical. It's like a cycle. You get used to it. You stay in that corner, and that's where you want to be. But in those times, we have to encourage, or you have to encourage yourself, if you are the one struggling, to try to push yourself to do the things that are outside of your comfort zone. Push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Because depression wants you to be isolated. Depression wants you to not take care of your hygiene. Depression wants you to not come out and speak to people. But you have to learn to do the opposite. You have to challenge yourself. And if you are a caregiver, you have to challenge the person going through it. Do not just sit and watch them go through that cycle for so long. Because once they go through that isolation, depression, poor hygiene, that mode of living for so long, it becomes very difficult. It becomes like a behavior so difficult to come out of it. And so today, yes, mental health can have a great impact on our physical hygiene. Oftentimes, admitting to yourself that your hygiene is struggling can feel shameful, let alone reaching out to someone for help. You may worry about how you will be viewed or how other people will judge you. These anxieties leads to keeping you silent, and you like to stay by yourself, which can feel very lonely and isolating. Do not isolate yourself. Open up, even if it's one person. Get help. Having mental health condition is not a death sentence. There is help. If you reach out early on, you will get the help that you need. These anxieties that comes along with not being able to take care of yourself extends to therapeutic relationships, and you begin to isolate yourself from people, including if you have a therapist or psychiatrist, you begin to isolate yourself from them. And these are the people who can help you, because you feel ashamed to go around your own family, your friends, or your providers. It is important to remind yourself that problems with mental hygiene are common symptoms that are associated with mental health struggle. I repeat, It is very important for us to remind ourselves that problems with hygiene are common symptoms with mental health struggles. Your therapist, your psychiatrist is familiar and will not judge you, so you don't have to be ashamed. If you struggle with how to bring this up with your therapist or your psychiatrist, it will become much more difficult to come out of this circle. You must trust your providers. You must trust them. It is not easy, but if you are around anybody who you think is struggling with their hygiene, begin to analyze the situation and recognize that this person used not to be that way. And so, what is going on? When hygiene feels extra difficult, these are some of the ways to help yourself if you are struggling. The least you can do is to rinse your mouth with mouthwash before you go to sleep, especially if it's difficult for you to get up the next day to brush your teeth. Brushing your teeth in the shower so that it won't be an extra step. You can do it all at once while taking the shower. You can take a bath